Hi, I'm Megan, and today we'll be talking with Pete about home appraisals for sellers. Hi Pete, it's nice to have you with us today.
Good morning, Megan.
So tell us about home appraisals. Is financing the trigger for that, or how does that work?
If a home is sold and financing is part of the contingency, then the bank will hire a licensed appraiser. They'll determine the current market value. The seller or the buyer has no say, but the buyer's loan will determine who the appraiser will be picked by the client.
Okay, so what should a seller do if they feel that the appraisal is inaccurate?
Sometimes a mistake is made, like maybe there's a double garage versus a triple garage, and there's some technical errors that can be corrected, but if the value is lower than the transaction, there's nothing the seller can do. Sometimes the lender will allow a reconsideration of value.
So what kind of things are you looking for with that?
When we do the appraisal in the house, we're looking at several things. We're looking at the safety of the house, the soundness of the house, and the general overall condition.
Okay, does location make a difference?
Location makes a difference because one of the things the appraiser wants to do is pick comparable sales that are located within the general neighborhood of the property that's being sold.
So that's an appraisal. I've heard about a market analysis. How are those different?
A realtor is licensed to create and provide a market analysis to the seller, and that gives the seller a range of value where they can price their house based on other similar homes that have recently sold.
What do sellers have for an option? Can they get an appraisal done ahead of placing their home on the market?
They can, and that is one service among many others that an appraiser can provide.
So if a seller has an appraisal done, is that going to be valid for the lender, or will they have to get it reappraised?
Actually, no. If the seller or the buyer have an independent appraiser, they do the engagement, that's the key word. Who engages the appraiser? That becomes the appraiser's client, and that's a federal guideline. So if the seller would get an appraisal to determine their value and then try to sell it to the buyer, and the buyer would take the appraisal in, it wouldn't be valid.
Right, so that would only work if it was a cash buyer.
That's correct. But if a buyer was going to get a loan, it's not valid. The lender is the one that has to engage the appraiser. Yeah, it's a question that the appraisers get a lot. It's real typical.
Yeah. Is there anything else that a seller should be aware of about home appraisals?
The seller needs to work very closely with the realtor before the appraiser arrives, because if there's something at the home that doesn't meet the client's general condition guidelines, then that will become a work requirement that will have to be completed. Now, not all things have to be completed, but the more you can do, the better.
Well, that's all very helpful information. Thank you for being with us today. It sounds like if you're a seller, you might want to talk to your realtor about some of those issues that could come up during an appraisal. I hope you got some good information from that, and we'll be talking to you again soon.